everyone, and welcome to West End Best Friend. And today we are joined by a brilliant guest from the UK touring cast of School of Rock, the musical. It's Jake Sharp. Hello, and welcome to West End Best Friend.
Hello there, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
It's going really well. How are you doing?
Yeah, great. Yeah. We're all having a good time. We're kind of like nearing halfway, I guess, of a tour. Not quite, but you know that kind of area. Currently in Edinburgh, so it's beautiful. Having a blast.
It's a wonderful show, and it's a wonderfully high energy show, and it's something that I think we need right now. We say that phrase a lot. It's something we need right now, but this especially is. It's just escapism, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. It's pure escapism, and it's just pure optimism and just fun. And I mean, I know one of the things I hate more than anything is when people are like, it's just family fun and all around good entertainment, but it genuinely is. And I think, like you say, we do need it. You know, it's that kind of that place to escape to with all of the family, or that place to escape to with just you and your partner, or just people go by themselves because they're big fans of the movie, whatever.
Yeah. And for people out there that haven't seen the movie, maybe they exist. It's a popular film, but maybe there are people out there that haven't seen the movie. They've never heard of School of Rock, the musical, or the film. Can you tell those people what to expect if they book tickets to this show?
Yeah, so very, very quickly, the premise is about a guy called Dewy Finn, who I play, who was Jack Black in the film. And he's about kind of like a bit of a loser. He's a bit kind of a failing rock star, a bit down on his luck, can't afford to pay his rent, can't afford to get kicked out of his band. And it's basically about him intercepting a phone call that was meant to be for his best friend and housemate, Ned Schneeby, who is a supply teacher. He intercepts his phone call, pretends to be a teacher, thinking he can just go into the school, get some cash in hand. Obviously can't do that. Walks into the school, and it's this ridiculously posh kind of institution. Ends up in front of a classroom full of kids, and kind of through his massive desire to play music and to be in a band, he teaches them rock music, and but at the same time obviously teaches them lots of other things, and listens to them and treats them in a way that no other kind of adult ever has before, and on the kind of flip of that, they obviously teach him a lot. And it's just one of those stories that kind of as a plot sounds ridiculous, but it works so well, and it's just such good fun to be around.
Yeah, and it's not the first musical you'd think of when you think of Andrew Lloyd Webber, is it? You think Andrew Lloyd Webber, you think Cats, Joseph, School of Rock, but it works, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely. And it's a real kind of, I know that it's a massive passion project for him. He's really vocal about children learning instruments, and about making sure that music stays in schools, and making sure that people have these options and to go out and to try all of these things. And he's always been very vocal about that, and especially even more since we have so many cuts in, you know, funding and all of the rest of it. And so this is his kind of like real love letter to live music, and to playing together in a band, and to collaborating, and just to expressing yourself in a way that, you know, maybe you can't express yourself in. And that's kind of the beauty of the show, is that the amount of characters in it, especially the young characters, but even Dewey to an extent, that can't express themselves in any other way than through music.
And I suppose a love letter to the teachers that inspire these children, such as Dewey in the show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. It's a real kind of thank you and an acknowledgement to all of those people that do that, and I think that most people have got a teacher or an adult in their life that has kind of done that for them, and it definitely is that, and it kind of also puts some sort of perspective on the rest of it. The beauty of the musical kind of over the film is that it's longer, so you have more time to go and look into the kind of the lives of the children outside of school, and the kind of pressures that are put on them by their parents, and the expectations. And even Miss Rosalie Mullins, who's the head teacher, you know, you get to really kind of delve into who she was and who she now is, and how, you know, what she's been ignoring in her life that actually fills her with a lot of joy. And I know it's kind of one of the beautiful things about it is that everyone who can see it has different, they see it in a kind of different lens. And, you know, you come as a family, and you've got you can have the children can see it from one point of view, like really positive, really kind of like inspiring, and then and then the adults see it in a completely different view. And I know a lot of people look at like Rosalie's story, for example, and she sings "Where did the rock go?" and where did all this passion go from me, and how have I ended up in this place without having this kind of thing that I love? I've forgotten it, and that I know that resonates with so many people.
In rehearsals for School of Rock, how did you go about kind of paying respect to the film, but also, of course, making your own version of this character separate from Jack Black's version, who played Dewy Finn in the film?
Yeah, I have to say, it was very, very, very rarely mentioned, Jack Black, as in, yeah, because I think, he's so iconic, he's so unbelievable at what he does. As soon as you say the same lines or similar lines as him in an American accent, looking disheveled and slightly overweight, you instantly sound like Jack Black. You know, there is instantly a nod to him, and obviously he's so iconic. I love him. I love Tenacious D and always have, and so there's bits of him that kind of just you I guess it's a nod to. It's not mimicry, you know, you're acknowledging him, but it's never been a case of like, let's try and make this more Jack Blacky. And what's quite interesting is when people come and see it and they focus entirely, especially critics, on like, it was like a copy of Jack Black, and then you go, I literally have not done anything to copy him. So someone has just, you know, that person has just completely put that on the show. That it is never something that's talked about, but you want it to be close enough that when the real kind of movie fans come and see it, it needs to be reasonably similar. But it's not something that is like a constant thing. In fact, I would say maybe the opposite, that you try to make it as much your own as you possibly can. Otherwise, it feels artificial, you know.
Yeah, of course, that's wonderful. And so that people coming who have seen the film get something fresh from the show as well.
Yeah, and it's still the same character, and it's still the same kind of ideals and the same message, and obviously it's the difference being that in a film you're seeing everything this close, you know, right up, and you're also seeing these scenes like are being filmed, so there's a cut, you can do all these different things. The difference for us is that it's live, it's in a theatre, and we don't leave the stage, so it's a whole different kind of energy that's necessary. And
I haven't seen your touring cast personally, but I have seen the musical. It's a wonderful show, and I'm sure that you are brilliant. I've heard brilliant things about you. I'm sure you're brilliant in the role too. And of course, it's not just you on stage, you're sharing the stage with a classroom full of children. And now the old phrase that I'm sure you've probably heard many times on this show is never work with children or animals, but these kids are incredible. And what I need to stress in this interview and in any advertisement for the show is the kids are playing live, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's, at the beginning of the show, there's a speech, like an announcement from Lloyd Webber, and he clarifies again, every time these children are playing their rock instruments live, and yet still people will just refuse to believe it. It's like outright refuse at the end. They would just say that we were not playing live, and they are playing. So, and they are unbelievably talented, and actually that adage of not working with children, I don't know about animals, I've not worked with animals, but children, actually it just keeps it more fresh. They're just so energetic, they're so positive, and they're just, you know, that kind of optimism and a sense of fun and joy that kids have is never matched by adults. You know, you can't match that, and that's kind of the job of the Dewy, is to try to be at the same level as them, and it's a really fun place to be. And actually, I think my fear, although it would be very nice to do, you know, something that is completely different, but my fear will be that, you know, you end up with a cast of just adults, and it will actually feel quite mundane compared to the adrenaline that you get when it's just you and 12 kids on stage, you know.
Of course, and that's what makes it live theatre, and that's what makes it so special, because we've missed that for the past 20 months, 2 years, that theatres have been opening and then forced to close and then open again and then close again. It's what we've missed. You can't replicate that on a screen. You can't replicate the different things every night at a theatre, can you? No,
completely. And you also can't replicate you know, when you're an audience member, you are involved, you are part, it is a collaboration, you're part of the thing. And, you know, when you're watching something in your living room, you're not part of that, you know, you are just very much a spectator. And I can feel that, you know, I'm by no means encouraging people to shout out, because that's not their place, but, you know, but I am encouraging people, the fact that, you know, you can feel the first 5, especially when we first opened, straight after all the big lockdowns, you could feel that for the first 5-10 minutes, people being quite reserved in the audience, and they're so used to being in their living room, and then just kind of realizing, oh, actually, I can laugh out loud. It's not unusual. I can, get involved, and this can be and then as soon as that happens, the more kind of part of it an audience is that it just you can't help but be affected by that on stage, and so it becomes just a collaboration, and obviously kids they thrive off that, and then kids in the audience thrive off the fact that we're thriving, so it's a real it's a team experience, it's teamwork, and yeah, it's the beauty of theatre, and